I'm Rachel.
And I'm Jennifer.
We both work here at Mason County Libraries. We recently read Driving Over Lemons by Chris Stewart. Why don't you tell us a little bit about his story?
Well, Chris was an original member of the band Genesis. When he was 17 years old, he was the first drummer of the band. Didn't stay long. After a year, he was invited to move on, and he did. And he ended up in Australia. He was a sheep herder. He sheared sheep and made a lot of money doing that. Ended up going to Spain. So he comes upon Andalusia and this place called Las Alpujarras, and he ends up buying a place that is in a little bit not of the best state of repair. His wife doesn't know about it. He buys a place that has no access by road, no electricity, no water. They hook up some kind of a rig where the water comes from a tank and the long hose goes down to the property, and that's what they use for a long period of time.
And that was very innovative for the area.
It was, exceedingly. And they didn't eat very well either. Rachel has a little part from the book that talks about what they had: breakfast, noon, and dinner.
And what was the dish called?
It was called papas a la pobre.
Okay, and here he writes about this dish. He's writing about Pedro, who he welcomes into his home. They're living together while Chris Stewart is getting settled. First, he put a deep frying pan, hideously greasy and blackened, onto a tripod over the flames, and into it poured what I judged to be 2 coffee cupfuls, after dinner size, of olive oil. Then, with his pocket knife, he hacked up a couple of onions, without being too delicate in the matter of peeling them. As they fizzled gladly in the oil, he pulled to pieces a whole head of garlic and tossed the lot into the pan. And this dish is what they ate every day, sometimes for multiple meals, including breakfast, with that grease and those potatoes and that garlic.
So his wife wasn't too thrilled about that. And the name comes from when he's discovering the place. He's driving with a realtor who is telling him basically where he's going to live. He has this place picked out, and the woman says, "Oh, no, that's not the right place for you. This is where you're going to go." And when they're driving, he is avoiding the lemons because there's so many lemons on there, and she says, "Oh, just go ahead and drive over the lemons." So that's where it gets the title for the book.
Jennifer and I have talked about the idea of romanticizing the thought of living in a foreign country and setting up this rugged home. And the author has said in his blog that he tried not to do that too much.
And it really was raw. I mean, when he went there wasn't much there, and they had to do a lot to acclimate to the climate, acclimate to the community, and then figure out how to make this house livable. He did invite his wife, and she came out, and then they eventually have a little girl as well, and they're still there. So they really loved the community, adapted to it, and did what they needed to, but it was a harsh beginning. But it's a great read, very interesting about another culture, how to acclimate.
He also has a blog that is ongoing. Is it still current?
It is. Well, it is. He doesn't post like monthly, but he does post to it. So
but if you enjoy reading this, he does have his following books and the blog to follow.
And we really did enjoy reading Driving Over Lemons.
Thank you for joining us for Readers Cafe Connect.